What is up, everybody? It's your girl Trish. You know, honestly, I was having kind of a tough week with my GRE. I actually ended up moving it. We'll talk about that in a later vlog, but let's just go ahead and get into today's video. So I'm going to be talking all about loans for nursing school. Basically, I went to UCLA. You'll hear me say that like 5 times in a day. For those of you that don't know, UCLA is the University of California, Los Angeles. It's a school in Southern California. It's a public university and they're really big on research, the University of California schools. In the US, the public universities are like cheaper compared to private universities. During the time that I went, I actually ended up spending for tuition alone about $12,697, and it would climb every year. By the time that I left, the tuition itself was not over $1,300. Aside from tuition, like any other school, there are extra fees that you have to pay, whether they're campus fees or student fees. I ended up paying for $14,392. After that, I also had to pay for my dorm. So I didn't really need to dorm. I could have driven to school. I wanted to have that college experience. I wanted to know what it was like to be away from home. I was able to make friends and really kind of find my voice. The dorms were about $12,637. It was so expensive. At UCLA, there are different types of dorms. You have a hall, which is when you have a dorm that's not connected to a bathroom. The bathroom is shared by the floor and it's not co-ed. We also had one where it's a shared bathroom between 2 rooms, and again, not co-ed. Or you also have the type where it's private and it's like 3 people or 2 people sharing one bathroom for themselves. Since my parents were a little bit worried, I ended up getting a private bathroom. It was a little bit more expensive. I could have done without it, honestly, but for their peace of mind, I paid a little bit more. One thing to note with our dorm fees is that it also comes with a meal plan. So there are different types of meal plans and they're based on how many swipes you have per week. Depending on the meal plan you got, those swipes could roll over. They have 4 buffet style places, a few different of like quick service type places, and we had everything from boba, kombucha on tap, bougie breakfast like poached egg. So now let's go ahead and talk about the loan situation. I had to pull out 2 different types of loans. One was a private loan and the other was a federal loan. Whatever college you go to, they'll usually have a financial aid office that will help you with this. Private loan you can just pull out, but you need some credit. And for me, at 18, I didn't have any credit, and so I had to get a cosigner for mine. There are some places where your cosigner can be your parent. For the place that we went, at the time it was the lowest rate and they did not want parents cosigning. I had to find either a friend or a family member that was not my parent to co-sign for my loan. While you can have someone co-sign for your loan, if anything happens to you, if you can't repay it, it affects their credit, which is why some people don't want to co-sign for you. That loan actually did not have a fixed interest rate. I can't remember if it started to climb when I was still in school, but when I was in school, my parents fortunately would help me pay the amount because it would only be like $20. After I graduated, it went into full-blown repayment. They did give discounts, like if I hooked up my routing number. I ended up paying that one off first just because the rate wasn't fixed. I was just being super aggressive with that one. Sometimes I would even go in and pay $2,000 for that specific loan. By the time I was at the end of my loans and I only had like $1,000 or $2,000, my loan rate was 8%. I think I got done with that loan in about a year and a half or so. My second loan was a federal loan and that one had a fixed rate. My monthly rate is about less than $500. During this time that I've been a nurse, I also had bought a car. My car's loan rate is actually more expensive than my federal loan rate, and so I'm paying off my car first before I pay off the rest of my federal loans. Because of the COVID situation, they just halted all student loans. I am able to just put more money towards my car and I will go ahead and pay off my student loans after. I think I paid off about $30,000 so far. I think I have about $30,000 left, something like that. So now I just have some tips for you for paying off your loans and saving some money. My first tip would be that if you can live at home, please try and live at home, at least just for your first year out of school. That way you have some extra cash saved up. Save it and then put the other half and just aggressively pay off your loans. Instead of having that money for rent, I just ended up putting all that money into my loans. If you can help it to not buy a brand new car, definitely definitely, you know, take that money and do something else with it. But cars are just so expensive, and the minute you drive off the lot, you know, they depreciate in value right away. So either go and look for a used car. Don't do what I did and buy a pretty much brand new car, because now I'm paying for that loan over my federal loans, which I talked about a little bit. If you can help it, like if you have a car and it still works and it's not gonna break down on the side of the freeway, I would definitely just keep that at least for a few years until you try and pay most of your loans off. Like, that's something that I wish that I did at least. Obviously save over spending, and how you can do that is you can create a weekly budget. I was really appalled to see how much money I spent, or you can create a monthly budget. There's also apps that do it for you. A free app that I like to use is Mint. I really love it because it breaks down everything from your loans to how much money you have in your bank accounts, your car, your house. There's also like budgeting apps like You Need a Budget. Now that you make a little bit more money as a nurse, you definitely want to enjoy it from time to time. You know, take care of yourself. What you do is really hard. Take the time to save as much of it as you can, just for a rainy day, just so that you have that extra savings in the future. So a question I end up getting asked a lot is, do I think that going to UCLA was worth it for its cost? And my answer would have to be yes. I ended up paying less than $13,000 a year for my tuition. My loans weren't over $70K. A lot of people will go to schools like UCLA, USC for the name, but also for the connections. But I feel like as a new grad nurse, no matter where you go, you can make those connections, climb your way up the ladder, make it to big hospitals, and then network from there. When you're starting out, you don't necessarily have to go to a name school. In grad school, you don't want to have your undergrad or your bachelor's degree nursing loans that you have to pay for on top of your CRNA or NP loan. UCLA is a good middle ground, but you definitely don't need to go to school like UCLA. If you can go to community college and do it that way, get the classes that you need without having impacted classes, do a bridge program, and get into a good hospital, I definitely recommend doing that as well. So I hope this was really helpful for you guys. I'm sorry that this was short and sweet, but I just pushed my GRE date back, and I'm still doing a little bit of studying, so hopefully I get better at the scheduling thing. I've just kind of been feeling all over the place. But yeah, thanks for watching this video, and I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.